Hi, it's Chris from My Stamp Lady, and I'm here today with the Sealed with Love bundle. So that includes the Sealed with Love stamp set, the coordinating Love Note dies, and I'm also using the Falling Petals embossing folder for this. This is from a different set or a different product suite from the Occasions catalog, but it works really well with this one. So as you can see in the Occasions catalog on pages 14 and 15, this set, or this bundle, is really designed Valentine's. It was presented with red and white and kind of in the line of Valentine's. But I'm going to go outside of that. I'm going to use this small envelope die to get a card that is not specifically for Valentine's Day. So the paper that we're going to use is a Perfect Plum piece. I'm using two sheets from the 2015-2017 Designer Series paper stack, so Mint Macaron and Tip Top Taupe from that stack, and it also has the other three in color papers with that one. I am using a small piece of Whisper White cardstock. I have two pieces of 4 by 5 1/4 inch Whisper White cardstock, and all of these dimensions and supplies used can be found on my blog at mystamplady.com. And then for the card base, I have a 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4 inches piece of Mint Macaron cardstock. So I'm going to start with my card front, and I'll take in one of those pieces of 4 by 5 1/4. And with this, the first thing I'm going to do is run it through my Big Shot with that Falling Petals folder. So this is a 6 by 6 folder, meaning it's quite a bit larger, but I am just using the smaller size. But the petals are a little more clustered as you go down, and you have some open spaces. I want it open up here to put my sentiment. So I'm placing this in the folder so that I will have some open space up there. And with that, I need my regular Big Shot platform, the one that you will use for embossing, and 2 acrylic plates. And then I'll run this through the Big Shot. When you get done, you have a piece that's embossed like this. So now I'm pulling in the 3 ink colors that I'm going to be using today, which is Perfect Plum, move this out of the way here, and Mint Macaron and Tip Top Taupe. So let me set these here. I'm going to start with the Tip Top Taupe, and the first thing I do is I have this kind of swoosh piece from that stamp set, inking that up, stamping that off on scrap paper so that it'll be lighter when I go on to my project here. And then I'm going to place that right up in here above those embossed petals. Now I have a little light swoop because I stamped that off first. And then with full strength next to it in Mint Macaron, I'm going to put a heart, and then the Sending Love in the Perfect Plum. And that'll go right next to this heart, but still over that Tip Top Taupe swoop. Okay. So then the next step that I have is I need to bring in some more things that I need to die cut. So I will stamp in the Perfect Plum this heart image, and then that will be centered into one of the dies. And then in, let's see, we'll do a Tip Top Taupe little design here, and this is going to go inside of my envelopes. And then I clean that off a little bit, and I'm going to do a Mint Macaron one. Okay. So now I have to grab my dies, and with those, this die is really unique. It has this little line down the center, and it's not going to cut there, but it's going to cut inside here, and that will allow me to have an edge with the inner part of the die that will pick up. And then I will need 2 of these little pieces here because they're going to go inside of my envelope, and then I will need 1 of each of these envelopes. So I'm going to be going through the die cut machine a couple of times with these. And for that setup, let's use the magnetic platform, and we'll line up the Perfect Plum and the envelope and the other piece and run that through the Big Shot. So I've got all my pieces die cut, and like I was saying, this is that little Perfect Plum piece and how it has one little heart with the 2 sides that will pop up. And then with my little envelopes, let's going to just fold those edges over to form that envelope. And you can take a bone folder and kind of crisp up that fold if you would like to do that. And do that to both of those envelopes. There we go. Now I am going to leave the little envelope tops open because I want to leave like a little piece of note paper kind of popping up. So I'm just going to take a little tiny bit of this multi-liquid adhesive, hold that there just for a second, that starts to stick. Do the same thing with this one, and this one you'll notice I left the dots, let's see, there we go. This one you'll notice I left the polka dots showing, so the mint macaron one, I'm going to leave the writing side showing. Now just to put the front together, so I'm going to take a piece of this linen mint macaron ribbon. I just love this ribbon, it's beautiful. It's a kind of a big piece here. So we'll run that across the card front and just tie a bow right underneath this sending love over here. And once you get your bow how you want that to look, then you just have to trim off the tails of that. Okay. So now let's mount this to the card front, and I can just use my fast fuse to mount that down. I really do like this adhesive, but be sure you do the little check mark with it, otherwise you're going to get little string things that'll come where you don't want them to. Okay, so now it's just kind of putting down and figuring out where you want your other pieces. So this is how, let's see how I want those to go, like that. And I'm going to use a little bit more of this liquid adhesive to place those down. I'm just going to put a little bit, of adhesive just on the back side, but I don't want to put it on the edges of the heart because I want to be able to pick that up. So I just put a little bit of adhesive there. And then we'll place that down. And again, with this glue, I like to hold it for a second just to let it start to set up on the background. Okay, put a little bit of glue down here. And you could actually, I just stamped these with those little designs, but you could actually write something on there if you would prefer. And then put that one in there, and another little heart note there. So you can see how this is coming together without having the red and white for Valentine's Day. And then I got to this point, I decided I wanted something to kind of draw the eye across the front. So I decided to pull in a few of the black sequins, and I placed those just like across here. It needed just a bit more to draw that eye in. So from the sequin assortment package, I grabbed those, and I like to glue these down with the fine tip glue. And what I do is I just put like a puddle of glue down. Oh, it's kind of stuck in the edge here. And I set them into that puddle of glue, and that will hold these down. Okay, and then just last one. And this just helps to bring the eye up and across the card front here. And so you can follow it from the bottom up to the top. We will want to add a little white card inside, and one of the great things about rubber stamping is that you can stamp and add the inside of your card to match the front. So to match my front, I'm going to do it a bit different, but I'm again going to stamp off this little swoosh, but this time I'm putting it down in this left corner. And I've grabbed this little set of hearts from the stamp set, and we'll ink that up in Perfect Plum and just stamp those across. And then I will have a writing surface for my greeting. So then just put that in place with a little bit of fast fuse. I think this would be a great card to just send off anytime to somebody that you care about or are thinking about. So So this is the one card that I came up using the different color scheme and away from Valentine's Day, and I have another idea here for you, also using 3 envelopes. This is using the little bit larger envelope, and this is the labeler alphabet, and it says Happy Mail, and Ready to Go Off with Bermuda Bay and Watermelon Wonder are the colors that I used for this one. So I hope you like these 2 ideas. And if you have any questions about what I've done, don't hesitate to contact me, Chris, at mystamplady.com, and you can find all of the supplies in my online store at shopwithmystamplady.com. Thanks for watching.